My name is Kanana Kajuju. I'm an interior designer and I work with Diba Limited. The clients want either to do renovations or they want to revamp. So that means if they're doing renovations, then that means we have to first focus on, are we doing any changes on the structure as we go inside now into the interior space. So we come and now try and advise you in this space, depending on the theme or the style that you want to implement in the space. This is the best way to do it. So we take measurements and then we do a design presentation, and then we move on to the next now stage where we implement those designs in your space. So from construction for the whole building, that takes a bit longer, and also depends on the design of the house. Sometimes you go and start renovating, and when you hack a certain wall, then it creates a crack. So you have to work with that first before you go ahead. So sometimes it takes longer to even do renovations than actually constructing the whole house. Also now, when it comes to soft furnishings, we check out the house, we see what it is that you're, what style do you want us to bring in your space, and then we go out there, we source for different pieces, and then now once that is agreed, it might take 2 weeks. A long time ago, the work of an interior designer was done by the architect, but nowadays we find people are understanding that the structural bit is now the architecture. And then now we have the interior design now that you need to focus on, which is the ceiling, the walls, the floors, the paint, because you have to have a bit knowledge of all these things for you to be able to introduce them in a space without them fighting each other. It is harder for me as a woman, and also as someone who's living with rheumatoid arthritis. So sometimes just by the way you look, they don't feel like you're able to do certain things. At the end of the day, the technical bit is up here. It's not by how I look. Yes, it's a bit harder because say when it's so cold and your joints are so stiff and going up the stairs becomes a challenge, you still have to overcome that because you know you have a job to do. When I finished school, I started working for a certain company, and then it was, I think, 4 months in. Now that is when I knew I had a growth in my brain, so I had to stop working until I had the brain tumor removed. And then 1 year down the line, you have so much pain you cannot work, so that is when I went for hip replacement, both of them. So it's important for you to understand people will treat you the way you treat yourself. You need to get out of your comfort zone or your mind and set to do something and achieve it, because if you don't do it, then no one will ever know what you are capable of.